What's up guys, today I'm going to show you the part 2 of how, or this is actually a part 1 kind of, because the first one didn't explain very much and I couldn't really do anything, but in this one I can. And yeah, what I'm going to show in this tutorial is, first of all, I'm going to show you Fivem server setup, and second of all, I don't know if we will get to show you how to port forward, because I think I might just make a video on how to do that alone. But in this tutorial today, we are going to cover about server setup, making everything work, and probably we will actually install some car models, and I will put a link in the description with my GitHub where you can download all the stuff. And I'll set up a server today that you can just download from my GitHub, and you can just set it up as you want. But I'm gonna put in some vehicles today, probably one character or something, so I can actually show you that this works. But okay, first of all, let's go to Google. Let me just close these. Okay, and then we go to Fivem. Oh shit, I can't spell today, but yeah, we go to Fivem. And you go to fivem.net, and I'll also put this in the description, and you can see here, download server non-commercial, because you can also rent a server. You can do that if you want, but that's only if you don't know how to set up a database or anything, then that's a good idea. Okay, you go to artificial servers under running from build artifacts, and then you take like let's just take the client, and then we take the master, the new one. You can just, right here, you just pick a link. They are all the same. They're just like updated, like you can see here, blah 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 blah. These are the old ones, and these are one of the newer ones. So you can actually just like take the newest one if you want, but it shouldn't really matter. And now you go to your desktop, you right click and press new, and then you take a folder, and then you just call it 5M server or something. I would actually call it FX server. That would spare you some time later on in this tutorial. And then you just copy all, boom boom. And you can copy all by Control A, so you don't have to do it all by yourself. And now you are done with this. So now you can just waste that and put it in there. Now you go back to, you just close this, and you go here, and then you take this clone CFX server data, and you go to CFX server data right here, and then you go here, and you clone and download as zip file. Okay, now you can see here it says like server data. That's if this if this link doesn't work, you can go here. So that's basically what it says. Okay, so now we take this one and just oh shit. For now, just open it. You don't need this gigit none, nor no one needs that. It's just for giving out the license of the creator and stuff. Of course, like, it is important, but you probably don't want that in your server if you aren't gonna use it as commercial or anything. Then you just do that. And now you can go in here, and as you can see, you have all these things right here. So yeah. And now you are gonna right click in your folder and make a new text folder, new text document. You call this server, and then instead of txt you go CFG as config, and then you right click, and I would suggest you download Notepad++, or you could use Visual Studio, Atom, anything, whatever you want. But for today's tutorial I'm going to use the free one, which is Notepad++. Nope. And when you are in here, you go back to the website here, you close this one, you go all the way down here where it says server CFG example follows, and then you take all of this, and then you go in here and copy paste it. And as you can see, now you have this. You don't want to change these up here. Those are just for like port forwarding the server. This is the Fivem game port, and this right here, script hook allowed, it's defining whether or not you want people to be able to use a menu like what you call lambda menu or something. And this is like if you log in on the F8 menu in Fivem, you can just put that like test password, and the host name is the name of the server you're gonna see on the Fivem server list. So this is like my new test server. just to do that. And right here, you can put in a custom logo if you want. Um, First of all, if you want to have a logo, you put it in here, just in here, not in the resource or anything. You could do that, but then you would have to direct the things into another folder, which is complicated. And if you don't know how to, you should just put it right in here in the main folder, and then you just call it something, and then .png, and then it loads the server. This convar is you don't want to change this. This is just for like scripting and stuff. And I'm not gonna cover this in today's tutorial. And rest is just if you want people to like join with Steam, and if you want to make it so they can't join without Steam activated, you just delete the 2 hashtags here, and now they have to use Steam to get into your server. And let's see, principle. Yeah. And this is you don't need to change this. This is if you want to have it in the log and stuff, and this is just like I mean, you can change this if you like. You can only have like 30 people in your server or 32 or whatever, but you don't really want to change that because it's already there. For now, I'm gonna close this window, and yeah. Now we actually have a server, but just to make it easier for you, I would suggest you go to Fivem and then dev for developer, and then you go to Fivem forums Fivem, and now you can go into releases, and up here you can search for VRP. That's the framework for a roleplay server. There's tons of like roleplay frameworks out there, but this is personally my favorite because it has so much cool stuff in it. And if you're not really into coding and stuff, this is not really the one for you, because you have to do a lot of changes to make it like work like you want to. But when you get it to work, it's a sweet ass script, because I have it on my server and it works perfectly. So yep. Now we got this FX server, and we can go in here in resources, and you just take these 3 in there, and oh shit, and you just drag them in the resources folder. This one you can take and stuff, but I would personally take this in here just so you don't have to make it. And you can also take the server CFG in here. You have to take the vrp.cmd and server.cfg in the FX server folder. And as you can see now, it should, now VRP is installed, and if you go to server.cft, you can see it. He has already added the 3 ones you need to add, because if you put something in the server resource folder you want to implement to the game, you have to say slash you have to say start and then like test. Then it loads the script. And if you if you're confused, if you maybe don't want, you just put in a car and you don't know if you want it in the game yet, you can just put a hashtag in front of the start right here, like hashtag, and then it won't load. I think we are gonna allow script hook just for test purposes, and you can see Psycho here. No. Okay, and this one is the test server because we want to find it, just to make sure no one else has it. And as you can see right here, we can put Steam in. I have Steam open, and the vrp.cmt right here. It's because when you load this, basically it just opens the run right here, plus it loads this one, because run right here is like you can use this, but you can, for example, like call this server starter.cmg, and then okay, for sure this is my server starter. And I don't know if you know how to do this, but you can, for example, just say like color A, and then you get a green one and stuff, but I'm not gonna show that today. Okay, so now we got VLP in our server, so we could open it now and we could join it, but it would only be us able to join it. And for that, We might just want to, let's say, should we get a car in there? Let's go to GTA5mods.com. Let's, for example, say if we, it's a good idea to search replace, because then it's gonna replace a car that's already in the game, so you don't really like you don't get to have that, like you don't have to have like 6 billion cars in the game, but you can replace those who are already in there. For example, you can replace this with the baller from the SUV from the game already. Okay, but let's take this one for example, Bugatti. And for this instance, it's a good idea to make a folder that has like bracket vehicles bracket, because then you know, for you don't have to like search all the, when you get like tons of scripts, you don't have to look through them like for just finding one vehicle, because you have like VIP, you probably have loading screen, you have all that stuff. Then you can just put vehicles, and then you can put like all the folders in here. And for example, I'm gonna put this in here, and because I don't want spaces in my name because it makes it a lot more complicated, I'm gonna call it Bugatti Veyron, just to make sure. And in this folder, you can see right here, this is the car we just downloaded. Okay, so now I'm going to take this T20. I'm going to delete the rest because I don't want that. Okay, and now you make, inside here, you make a folder called stream. And you put these three in here. Remember, if you want to change like the license plate and stuff, the YTD is the one you need to change. And the underscore high I. Those are the ones. YTF doesn't have anything to do with like changing plates and stuff. But for that, I'm gonna make a new tutorial, because you need a program called what's it called? I have it in here. It's called Toolkit. You can use that for that. And in here, I have. It's a good idea, like I do right here. Make a resource folder that loads vehicle.meta and vehicle handling. But I also have a resource alone, I called it, because then I can just like, if you go in here, you can see this is my resource folder with the vehicle manifest and stuff. But you don't want to like mess around with this. This is like important, you don't mess with that. But in here you put all the car files in the stream folder. Also, if you download a vehicle that has like tuning parts and stuff, they also go in this folder. But the resource folder goes out here, and you call it slash like underscore and resource dot lua. And if you got a vehicle that dot meta or handling dot meta or anything else that has like dot meta or something, or like a template or anything, you put it in here. You just put it in this folder right here, and then you go into your resources .lua, and then you go to files and type the name. And down here, for example, you just type with big with like caps lock. You just, for example, say like vehicles underscore meta data underscore file. This is only for the vehicles meta file. You say metadata, but you don't do that for all the scripts. Enough of that. Okay. Yep. So now we got the Bugatti Veyron right here. So now you just take that and you go back here. You go to server.cfg and you go here, and then you make. It's a good idea to don't mess around with all of these. You just make double space. Then you take hashtag, because then it won't load the thing, and you say vehicles, because then you know, okay, this is my section for finding all my vehicles. You know. Vehicles. Oh shit, we can't do that. This is not Lua. I forgot, but okay. Now we got the Bugatti Veyron, and it's gonna load. That's a good thing. And let's see if we want to maybe make. We want to have an NPC in there too. We want to have a cooler cop. Let's say that. Fat cop. Yeah, let's take this one. Okay, good. We go in here. We have this fat Aladdin. Yeah. Okay. You go into the resource folder, and it's a good idea again to don't mess around with all the files. You make an asset so you can always find it. If you make an assets folder, you can just say like, okay, this is the fat cup one, and then we go in here, and inside here you make a stream folder because you want your server to stream all the files to the client, because all of this is server sided, so you need to make sure it goes in the right place. Boom. Okay, now we got this. Now I go in here, and I will of course put all of these important files in my GitHub, as I said before. No. Okay. 2 seconds. It's because I have an example for it, but it's, yeah, here, pet example. It's a good idea to make a folder that's called pet example, because then you can like always, you know where to like get the example of the pet. Boom. And then you call it / no, wait. Shit, I can't. Shit. I kind of forgot. It's because I've been on a break for some time now, so Oh yeah, that's true. Pets doesn't matter. That's true. Okay. And then what the hell? Okay. And then you go in here, and let's say you don't want this to just be a pet running around on the streets. Then you go to VRP, CFG, and then you go to cloakrooms, because then you can see here you have local files with all the, for example, this guy, I want him to be sheriff male, for example. Then I copy this, and I go into CFG, I go back here, and I go, where's my asset? Yeah, fat cop, and then you go into the pets folder again. Then you take this name, and you just put it here. All of the rest of this stuff is set up correct, so you don't want to change with it. You don't want to change this, because it is, oh shit, I forgot. I deleted too much. Boom, boom. Right there. Okay. You want to change this, because in the example you have to remember I put the last one is for male and the top one is for female pets, so you can stream both male and female. Okay, so now we just have a resource folder, and I'm gonna copy it from here, gonna put it in here, and as you can see, my resource solar resource, I'll put this resource in here, and it's already put up the correct way, so you don't want to mess with this. Just let it be, and just don't worry about that, because it'll be set up correct. You just have to worry about putting all the stuff in the stream folder and all that good stuff. Okay. Let me see here. Okay. Then you copy this name, because my didn't copy anyway, but you have to do it. So you do this, and then you remember to say underscore p. That is for like props on, for example, like hats, glasses, and stuff, and all that good stuff you can put on. And then a good idea is to copy this, go back into vehicles, you go all the way to FX server, you go to server.cfg, and then you go to, remember you had a vehicles section. It's also a good idea to make an assets section, because then you can like then you can like you have a good view of like what you actually have implemented to your server, so you never get lost in files and all that stuff. It's a good idea to make like to put it in categories, so you don't lose your information or you get lost. Okay, so now we can try to see, if you go to server starter, you can delete this. Wait. Yeah, you can. It's a good idea to put no, wait. I'm just gonna delete this and this. Okay. Okay. Now you can go to server.cmg, press any key. Okay. You have to put it in the C drive because, as I said before, like if you want to like make a new make the file load up another place than the C drive, it's gonna be a pain in the ass. So I have two drives and I don't want it on my C drive because that's where I have my other server. So I'm gonna go here and type D, and then I'm gonna go here, and I'm gonna say fx server and backslash. Okay. So now it should load if we go here. Oh, oh Jesus, that's right. I totally forgot. Oh shit. I totally forgot. I'm sorry. I'm just a bit confused today. Let's just say test server. It's not because I don't know how to do this. It's just because I haven't been into server making for like some time now. Because I was on holiday, and let's see here. Now it should definitely work. Yes. Yeah. Just and as you can see, all these errors, it's good enough, but it's because you don't have a database yet. Because I'm gonna set that up in another video because this video is way too long already. But I think I'm gonna finish it here, and then another tutorial is gonna kind of come up tomorrow or later, where I'll show you how to set up the database and how to port for what, because this video is way too long already. So I'll see you guys next time, and have fun.